I'm Nathalie Landry, Executive Vice President of Scientific and Medical Affairs at Medicago.
Thanks again for doing this interview. And of course, the first question we have to ask, and I'm sure Canadians will want to know, is how far along has Medicago come in terms of developing its vaccines? And what elements of this vaccine represent a breakthrough in vaccine science?
Well, the breakthrough element for Medicago is first the technology. So we are unique in the world. We use a plant-based system to produce vaccine and therapeutics. And for vaccine, we produce virus-like particles. So what does that mean? It means that we produce a vaccine that will look like the virus without being infectious, without being able to replicate or induce any disease. And virus-like particles are very effective vaccines. We have started, like everybody else, the beginning of the pandemic in March 2020, and we're currently in phase 3 trial for the COVID-19 vaccine. So we are enrolling subject. According to our plans, we will demonstrate efficacy this summer, and we will get regulatory approval after. It's really a race, and it's the very first time in the industry that we see different technologies participating. And if you look at it, it's not the old technologies that are participating to producing vaccine for this pandemic. It's the new technology. So we're asking a lot of all the developers to produce at scale and to develop rapidly and to make the vaccine available.
So why did Medicago decide to build its production facility in Quebec City, and what made the region more competitive than other jurisdictions?
The first thing, we're born and raised in Quebec and in Canada. So Medicago is a spin-off from Agri-Food Canada, but the base in Sainte-Foy here, and from Laval University. So it was natural that the first development would be hosted in Quebec. Second, as we grew up, there was a lot of knowledge and vaccine knowledge with the former Biochem Pharma, Biochem vaccine, that became eventually the GSK facility that we know in Quebec City as well. So there's a critical mass of knowledgeable people in vaccine production in Quebec City. We took the challenge of developing a new technology and innovative products. And you know, Canada is known and Quebec is known for having very good scientists, being very innovative, and certainly developing a new technology, producing innovative products requires a lot of that. So there was a lot of good scientists around us as well. So it's a combination of having all the scientists to develop these products and the know-how to produce to good manufacturing standards. So there are standards in the industry. So developing a new product is one thing. Producing it according to the industry standard is one thing. We found both in Quebec City.
Perhaps this is a little bit of the same question, but what do you think makes Quebec City and the surroundings life sciences ecosystem attractive to foreign investors specifically?
I would say the tax credit that were implemented by the government helped a lot to attract R&D investment. I would, however, say that there's a bit of a gap in terms of governmental support when it comes to scale up production and produce locally. But I think we're getting over that, and the recent pandemic is helping securing more manufacturing capacity in Canada. And I think there was financial incentive for people to come to Quebec. So the tax credit are useful for startup, and when you're in a certain phase of growth, you can benefit from that and leverage your investment. In terms of capital available, there's some that is available in Quebec, that's for sure. The governmental programs vary depending, of the years, but we should say that we have been supported by the city. very much who had a vision and wanted to develop the industry and support those. And we're thankful to the Ville of Quebec also for the land where we are building our large-scale manufacturing facility. So it's just beside the hospital known as Robert Giffard. So there was a huge land there. We're implementing there. So it's not far from the city, it's within the city as well, so that will be easy for our people to commute. But there was that willingness to get organized and to support the industry at the city level, at the provincial level. They're a strong supporter of their industry, and at the federal level as well. In life sciences, there was always a lot of research going around infectious disease. In oncology, also, there's a lot going on there. Laval University is very important, and all the research centers associated with hospitals create, a lot of people working in very specialized domains. So I would say that infectious disease, that's for sure, oncology, and the Institut des Nutraceutiques et Aliments Fonctionnels from Laval University is well known also in the world. So there's many different aspects that are developed in Quebec.
What about talent? That's an issue that we hear about across Canada and in a variety of sectors. My sense is that we have great talent, but maybe sometimes we don't have enough. What about Quebec City? What about the health and life sciences sectors? And importantly, what do you think we can do to improve in terms of attracting, in terms of growing, in terms of retaining as well, all the talent we attract here?
The pandemic has shown us that remote working, even in the life science industry, can work. Unless you need to work in a lab or you're at the facility producing the vaccine, many other functions can work remotely. And therefore, instead of thinking that we need to bring all the talents locally around the region, which is nice because we still need to have meeting and being face-to-face, we have proven with the pandemic that there's another way of working. So you can think that you can work at different parts of the world and meet from time to time and be effective. For example, in the clinical trial we're managing, the clinical team, some are based in US, some are in France, one is in India, and it works. So I think we're changing a bit the way we look at hiring and recruiting talent. Of course, you need a home base and you need to create that community and face-to-face interaction. But I would think that the pandemic changed a lot, and it's easier these days to have access to talents wherever they are than it was, I would say, 2 or 3 years ago.
For investors looking to invest in Canada, the very size and the distance between Quebec City and Ottawa or Calgary and Vancouver can be daunting in and of itself, no?
Well, we have an airport. Without the airport, I would say yes, but as long as we have an airport and we have regular liaison with Montreal, Toronto, or wherever with the US, I think this is something that is manageable for people that are commuting to Quebec. The size doesn't really matter. You look at GSK in Belgium, it's a bigger city, but it's not that bigger than Quebec. Lyon in France, it's not really the size that is important, but having a rich community and diversity is more important. We have a beautiful city, and the Festival d'été is absolutely amazing. And you look at the hundreds and thousands of people going to shows. It's not only local people, it's impossible. All the Quebec City would be on Plaine d'Abraham, which is virtually impossible. So there's a lot of people coming in, and it's a very interesting city. You don't have to be stuck in traffic for 3 hours to get to somewhere. 20 minutes and you're anywhere. So that's interesting. Quality of life is certainly something that people enjoy a lot in Quebec City.